So football season's back. Thursday night football, and tonight we got the Patriots and the Jets. And we all remember what happened the last time these two teams played on Thanksgiving. They gave us one of the most infamous plays in sports, the butt fumble. And we've made two porchettas over the last year, so it got me to thinking. I could not help but think of the similarities. You take something very uninspiring by itself, like some parsley or some garlic, or the Jets quarterback, Mark Sanchez. Not too interested about themselves, but you stuff it inside a giant pork butt, or in this case, a lineman's giant ass, and you get yourself a porchetta, or the butt fumble. It's the gift that keeps on giving. So we're going to make a beautiful porchetta today. We're going to stuff it with cherries and panko and all these beautiful ingredients. We're going to roll it up, we're going to tie it, we're going to throw it in the oven, and we're going to have ourselves a great roast. So we've made 3 porchettas in the last year, and every time we do it, we make it different. So take your liberties like we do. Sometimes you feel like you're in the mood for some cherries, a little sweetness. If you like extra thyme, put more thyme in. If you don't like rosemary, put more sage in. If you don't like any of that, don't put any of it in. But don't get crazy. Don't go ahead and put like nacho cheese and chili in there. We're making a porchetta, not a chalupa, okay? So we're gonna do it our way. So we're gonna start today with just always the biggest, most important thing is 2 tablespoons of nice coarse kosher salt, okay? And then we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of crushed red pepper. I like spice, I like it hot, so that's what we're doing. 2 tablespoons of cracked black pepper. And then we have here, I could tell you tablespoons, how would you know? We have sage and rosemary. It doesn't come like that. We got about 30 leaves of sage chopped finely, okay? Fresh sage. And then 5 sprigs of rosemary, okay? Then we have something here that I hate cilantro. I shouldn't say hate. I do not like cilantro. It tastes like soap. But coriander is the seed of cilantro. And many people don't know that. And it's a delicious, amazing spice. It's very floral, and it has a little bit of a lemon zesty taste. So we're going to go with just 2 teaspoons of that, okay? Heaping. And then we get to an ingredient that, another ingredient a lot of people don't know about or even hear about, fennel pollen. So fennel seed, we all know that's in sausage, and it gets that nice little flavor, but fennel pollen is ground up actually and it's just so intense. So you gotta be a little careful with this. This recipe usually calls us for like 4 teaspoons of fennel seed, but with fennel pollen, we're gonna use just 2 teaspoons. All right. Parsley, nice bunch of parsley, chopped fine. And then we have some fresh garlic. It's about a whole head of fresh garlic. We had this discussion before. If they don't like it, don't be around them, okay? Very simple. And then I'm gonna just add 2 teaspoons of thyme, crushed thyme. And my favorite, we've used this in the meatballs before. We took 4 shallots and some garlic and we sauteed it up. And somebody asked me yesterday, why shallot all the time? Why do you love shallot? What's the difference between shallot and red onion? Well, red onion's good, but it's a little strong and it has a little bit of a smell. It's not as sweet as shallot. So if a red onion's like a very hot girl at a club, a shallot is like a hot girl's prettier friend without the whiskey breath. Does that make sense? You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're gonna dump that right in. And then we're gonna get some crushed pine nuts. Toasted, always toast your pine nuts. Okay. Another good ingredient. Some people don't like too much sweet. We know who they are. I love this. We're adding some dried cherries, about 10 ounces. It's gonna be nice rounded out. You got pork, fat, skin. You need something to cut through all that. So rather than making a glaze, we're just doing it right into the stuff. And then we're gonna add some panko, okay? Probably about 10 ounces of panko as well. And our last ingredient, the mother of all ingredients that makes everything better all the time, butter. A whole stick. Paula Dean would be proud. We know. Come on. And it's white. So time to mix. And we know, we talked about it before, God's best tools. How are you going to mix all this stuff with a little rubber spoon or something? You got to get in there and work it. Get in there, make sure you get all the ingredients incorporated really nice and well. Get that butter into everything. It's kind of room temp butter. Still has a little bit of a chill to it. So we're pretty good. Looks great. Look at that. Nice. So we have our pork belly here, and it's laying skin side down, as you see, meat side up, and it's on top of some beautiful butcher's paper. I went to the butcher, like I said before, you go there, ask them whatever you want about your meat. They're by themselves all day with nothing but meat. They're lonely people. You have to engage them. I asked the guy for some butcher's paper, he was so happy, he ran behind there and got me 2 pieces. And now I don't have to worry about cross-contamination, getting something dirty, the counter, cleaning up a cutting board. I'm gonna do it right here, make a mess, and then throw it in the garbage. Who's better than me, right? So, as you can see, we did our cure. Like I told you before, we scored it, and we put a salt, pepper, and brown sugar rub on it and put it in the fridge for a day and a half. So it's got nice and infused with some moisture. There was so much meat that I actually cut some off because it was unevenly distributed, and I'm gonna add that back in. And it's almost gonna be like a traditional porchetta where you wrap a pork belly around a pork loin, but we're using mostly belly because we got a lot of meat on this. All right, and then we're gonna take our stuffing with all the spices and herbs that we got from the Spice Station in Silver Lake, our favorite store, my store, and we're gonna rub it down, okay? So like I said, I scored the meat before when I did the cure, which is a day and a half ago, but after being in the fridge for a day and a half, those crevices start to close up a little bit. The meat wants to kind of bind back together. So because I want to get our stuffing in nice and lay it evenly and get into the crevices, I'm gonna just do another little score just to kind of open up that meat. Okay, and you can see it really is right away, very easy. You don't want to go all the way through because you don't want to cut through into the skin because you need to have this wrapped. And so you could do little poke holes like this, but what am I, Dexter? I'm just gonna slice this open here. All right, go this way. Now you have room for all that stuffing to find its way into everywhere. Okay, it's again not a perfect science, just do what you want. All right, we're good to go. Now we're gonna stuff. Okay, so time to stuff. So again, we got our hands and we got this beautiful stuffing we worked on. And we're going to lay it flat in here and just start spreading it out. Just you want to work it into all the crevices, get it in there nice, press it down, nice even layer. Probably you could even have a little more stuffing. I like to overstuff it because some comes out when you're rolling it. And you want to just keep pushing it down in there because as you do that, it's going to find its way into those little nooks that we made, those little scores, And you want a healthy dose of the stuffing. Sometimes people think it's a little too much stuffing, but you have so much pork fat and meat here and all those flavors and the crispy skin, you really need it to balance it out. Wow, that looks great. Wouldn't mind laying down with this sucker. And it doesn't talk back, unlike my fiance. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna watch this too. All right, so we're good, beautiful. So time to roll, okay? So we got everything laid out nice. We're gonna take those extra couple pieces I talked about, just lay them down inside, make a little strip, okay? Perfect, now we're gonna roll, okay? So roll this like you would roll anything. Okay, look how nice we got that in, okay? And now, perfect. So that was really simple and easy. Sometimes it's not that easy, okay? I got lucky today. The camera was on. You were all here with me. So that was very easy and very lucky. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and transfer it over to a cutting board with some strings that I have tied out. I got 8 nice long strips of butcher's twine, and we're gonna go ahead and tie this up, okay? So we got our butcher's paper out of the way, and we got our porchetta transferred to a cutting board with some strings that were already cut. And I find it much easier when I'm cooking. I have plenty to think about just to cut 12-inch pieces laid out and just a regular double knot, old school style. You could do a butcher's knot and everything else, but I just find this easier, for me at least. So you want to just get the first one going, and then from there they kind of fall into place. I'm gonna go ahead and tie it tight, and again, don't be afraid. The thing is dead, it's not gonna bite you. Not this time, all right? Just a nice knot. The reason why you gotta tie it to keep it intact, obviously when it's cooking, it's gonna start to expand, and all those juices and all that good stuff is gonna wanna come out. So we're gonna get this tied, and then we'll get to our next wonderful step. Okay, so we got all our 8 strips of twine nice and tied tight, and we did one long ways just to keep it totally intact because it's a big porchetta, okay? And you gotta sometimes tame these giant big pieces of meat somehow. Okay, we're good. All we gotta do now is we're gonna take some kosher salt, some pepper, and some olive oil, rub this down and get it into a nice low and slow 275 oven and let it go for 4 hours. Go watch the Jets, fumble the ball all over the field, kick it around. By the time we come back, they'll be down by 40, it'll be great. Okay, so now it's time for the Thai massage, minus the happy ending. Well, there's gonna be a happy ending, but it's gonna take 4 hours. So first, a little olive oil, just nice and get it on that coat. Very liberal dusting of salt, kosher salt, nice, coarse kosher salt. And the same thing with some cracked black pepper. So time to pop this thing in the oven. Remember, low and slow, like we said, 275 for about 4 hours, and then we're gonna blast it at 500 for the last half hour. Nice long roast, right? But you've all saw Seinfeld, shrinkage, but instead of cold weather, the pool, the hot oven. So it's gonna get very small. Don't be afraid. You still have plenty of pork, plenty of meat. And we're gonna roast this thing to a temperature, internal temp of 160, because that's when it's safe to eat pork, okay? So let's get this over to the oven, pop it in. So we got our guy roasting in the oven, about 500, just a few more minutes before we take him out to rest. So it's time to make our salsa verde, our Italian version of salsa verde. And we're gonna do some fresh Italian parsley and a bunch of really fresh ingredients with it. And we're over here at Kevin and Liz's house, two of our really good friends, and you can see they have a beautiful kitchen that comes equipped with all the great amenities, except I found something now that really blew my mind. We have here 00 Cuisinart. Have you ever seen such a thing? So how perfect is this? Nice and easy, simple. So we're going right into the blender. We're going to take a nice, healthy bunch of parsley. Okay, go ahead and cram it right in. And then we're going to go ahead and take a couple of pinches of crushed red pepper, a couple of pinches of salt, kosher salt. Same thing we've always talked about, reinforce the flavors. You got all this stuff in our pork, so we're going to go ahead and do it right into the salsa verde as well. Some cracked black pepper, little pinch, fennel seed, fennel pollen, I'm sorry, and then a nice pinch of the coriander seed from before. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take 2 garlic cloves, nice and easy, and just peel the skin off. We're not gonna chop these up or anything. Get the skin off, we're going right into the blender. So we're gonna do the juice of 2 lemons, okay? And we got this great little gadget here. You gotta get one of these if you don't have one, because, you know, get the most out of your lemons with no seeds, really important. Perfect. All right. Zest the lemon now, the whole thing, just until you get to the white. This is really important because you get that extra nice, very acid, fragrant, brings out all those flavors. Parsley, red chili flake. Okay, we're good. Now it's time to blend it up. So we're gonna emulsify. So we're gonna put just a little bit of oil to start it, and then we're gonna slowly pour some more in. About a cup of oil, maybe a little more. All right. So we got it all blended together. All those ingredients mixed in nice and well. Just pour it out. And this is gonna be just to finish our sandwich at the very end, after we slather our meat all over that bread. Just gonna drizzle a little bit of the salsa verde, just to round out that flavor, give it a little bit of pop, and then just sprinkle a little bit of cracklings on it. It's gonna be dynamite. Awesome. Austin Powers has to go. Goodbye. I love this thing. So pulling our guy out of the oven. Been in there for 4.5 hours just about. He looks perfect, sounds great. Wow, dynamite. Oh, this is gonna be awesome. That's how you celebrate a football season like this. Looks like a pigskin, huh? Nothing better than that. 4 hours, come back, your thing's done. Nice lazy Thursday, not Sunday. I'm gonna let him rest now for about 35, 45 minutes because he's a pretty big roast. What I like to do is I like to have a serrated knife and a chef's knife. You just never know when you're cutting this thing how it's really gonna happen. So I like to have both be prepared. And the way I do this, I like to just remove a little piece of this skin right here, this outer skin. It got so crispy, you know, just kind of just peel it right off. Just gonna hang on to that for later. And then you just wanna cut really thin slices of this. Oh my God, look at that. Just nice and thin. I'm gonna chop this up again too, so I mean, look how beautiful that meat looks. It's still steamy, it's been resting for 45 minutes, it's still hot. Hot to the touch, but I want to get into it so bad, I don't care. So, perfect. Okay, slide some of that back. That's going to be about enough for one sandwich, but we're generous people here, so maybe a little bit more. Just nice little, oh God, you hear that? Perfect. Then you want to just go ahead and take your chef's knife and just want to run this right through this nice little chop. We want to layer our sandwich with all the stuffing and flavors and the pork, and then we're going to sprinkle a little bit of that verde on it, and then just some crispy skin. All right, I got some bread toasting in the oven. We'll grab it and we're going to build our first sandwich. You hollow out the bread so you got a nice little crevice to get all that meat inside there, you know? So we're not going to be skimpy at all here. We're going to do a lot, nice healthy portion. Oh God, this is going to be just awesome. This is a great thing too, man. You could actually prepare this at home and do what we did. We brought it over to Kevin Liz's earlier today and got it ready. And you could actually, this is a great thing to bring with you. You bring this to someone's house, I promise you, you'll get invited back, okay? You could do a lot of bad things at their home and they'll still invite you back. Okay. Just a little rinse. Salsa verde time. Then we're gonna cut up some of that skin and just make this awesome sandwich. So porchetta is really an old school Italian dish for peasants, and a lot of the cardinals used to make it because you can get a nice cheap cut of meats and you can feed a lot of people with it. And it comes from a region that the other famous, well-known food is pecorino romano, sheep cheese. So this goes back many centuries. Okay. Now, little skin, just a little nice dice. Look at that, perfect. Just sprinkle a couple pieces on your little sandwich here. Now you got, like we always talk about, layers of flavors, texture. You got nice soft pork, the stuffing, the real brightness from the salsa verde, and then the little crunch from that skin that's got all that fat rendered, the salt, the pepper, the rub. You can't get a more rounded sandwich anywhere. I'm not even gonna cut it. We're gonna eat it caveman style. I think you have to. Look at this thing. Finished product. Beautiful. Wow. That was worth the 10 hours of prep, the 4 hours of work, and the Jets lost, because you know they're losing inside. I can't go look, but trust me, they're losing. Until the next time, gotta do it. Let me know how you do.